Right. So here we go. Actually, before we start, everyone smile on the count of three. 1, 2, and 3. So beautiful. I love it. Okay, we are reading right now about the amazing sun. Okay, everyone follow along. Chapter 7. Wonders of the sky. The amazing sun. What wonders we can see in the sky at night. The silvery moon, the glimmering stars, and the occasional brilliance of a shooting star all delight us. In the daytime, the glory of the sun is too great for us to look at directly, but it floods our world with light and warmth. The heavens are filled with spectacular signs of God's power and wisdom in creation, but the sky also contains wonders that are invisible to us. In fact, the sky itself is one of the greatest of all wonders. Around the earth is wrapped a blanket of air called the atmosphere, which God created to warm, protect, and give life to his creatures. Without the atmosphere, our world would be as cold and dead as the moon. There would be no rich forests and no meadows, no dogs or cats or animals of any kind, because all of those things need air. There would be no clouds, no rainbows, no sunsets, and most important, no people to gaze at the beauty of the sky. So what do we need to be able to live here on Earth?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. We need air. Otherwise, we'll be dead. Okay, who's going to read the greater light? Monse, go for it.
The greater light. On the fourth day of creation, God caused the sun, the great light, to rule the day, to shine upon the earth. Through the sun, God gave light and life to the world He created. The sun is so important to you that many pagan people worshipped in it as God, because it made their crops grow and keep them warm. When winter approached and the sun arched lower and lower across the sky, they became alarmed. Would the sun leave them altogether? Would it disappear and never return? They knew they would die if you happened. As soon as the longest night of the year was over and the days begin to lengthen, they realized that the sun was returning to its full strength. The people whose faith was in God, whatever, did not worry about the sun going away and not return. They remember where God promised to Noah, while the earth remained sin and harvest and cold and heat and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Genesis 8:22.
Peace.
They knew that our world is a world of law and order established by God.
Very good. So we don't have to worry about the sun going away because who protects us?
God.
God. And so we have that promise that the sun is there. All right, now we're going to get more into depth about the sun. Sander, read to me the immense sun. Sander, I can't hear you, bud.
Wait,
There you go.
did you know the sun are equal on Earth? If you could drive a car around the Earth at 6 miles per hour, the trip would take
Sander, immediately, what do you need?
I will eat.
All right, turn off your camera.
7 days.
Go for it, Sander.
If you could drive a car around the sun at the same speed, it would take 5 years. It takes only 8 minutes for the sun runs through to the earth, where they are absorbed by the trees, the vegetation, and the soil. When sunlight warms the earth, it wastes are released into the atmosphere and absorbed by the particles of dust and moisture in the air. This forms a cozy blanket around the Earth to keep it the heat from speaking back into space.
Very good. How many miles do the sun rays travel to reach the Earth?
93. 93 miles to the earth. 93. How to say, Mr. 0000?
Million. 93 million.
93
93
million miles to the earth.
Very good. 93 million miles to the Earth.
Ay, mister.
I say, Mr. You say, Monse Sandra.
It'd be Lizzie. Lizzie next. All right. 93 million miles to reach the Earth. And then they're absorbed by trees, vegetation, and the soil. So it keeps us nice and warm. Otherwise, we would freeze to death. All right. Lizzie, you're up. And then Carlos, you're next.
The helpful sun. The sun gives food to all living things. Green plants use energy from sunlight to unite water and carbon dioxide, thus forming sugar and oxygen. Through this process called photosynthesis, our food is made. Photo means light. Animal eats plants and are in turn eaten by other animals. People can eat either plants or animals. Thus, the sun is the ultimate source of food for both animals and people. The sun is also a source of energy. Plants and animals that receive light formed the sun thousands of years ago. Now lie buried deep in the earth. They are mined from coal, petroleum, and natural gas, which, when burned, provide heat and energy for people. Also, when the sun shines on lakes and oceans, it evaporates the water, which later falls upon the earth and rain or snow, watering the earth and filling the rivers. Dams built on these rivers generate electricity by water power. God knew just that kind of sun so to make and just where to put it. If the sun were any closer to the earth, all living things will burn up. If it were further away, and living things will freeze.
Very good. So the sun gives us food to all things. So the plants will absorb the sun and turn carbon dioxide and sunlight to water. Use sunlight to unite water and carbon dioxide, forming sugar and oxygen. What is that called? What is that process called?
What, mister?
What is it?
Photosynthesis.
What did you say?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. Very good. And so animals eat plants and are in turn eaten by other animals. So we eat animals that eat plants, and we eat plants as well. So we need it. Also, the sun is a source of energy. And so what would happen if the sun was closer to the earth? What would happen?
We will get fire.
We would burned up. All right, and somebody else. If it was too far away, what would happen?
What?
If it was too far away, what would happen?
We don't have sun.
Extinct. We extinct.
We die because it'd be too what?
Cold.
Too cold. Very good. All right, Carlos, what the sun is like?
Wait.
What is the sunlight? The sun.
Where we was?
What is the sunlight?
What's the sun like? Page 180.
Okay.
The sun is a great glowing mass of hydrogen and helium gases that are heated to temperature of about
Teacher, I cannot listen. Can you read again?
11,000 near
All right, keep going, bud.
near the surface and a possible 27 million at the core. The core is the innermost section of the sun. All through the inner layer of the sun are a mystery to us. We know that the sun has a tremendous gravitational pull. This gravitational pull around the sun's immense gravity squeezes hydrogen atoms in its core together so tightly that they join together to form helium atoms, releasing atomic energy. This energy what warms the earth.
Very good. So, what is the innermost section of the sun?
The what?
What is the innermost section of the sun?
Species irrelevant.
The innermost section of the sun. What is it called? Starts with a C.
Core.
Very good. And how hot does the core get?
Good.
27.
27 what? Million degrees Fahrenheit. Very good. All right. Let's have Gloria. Gloria, will you read the sun's outer layers for me?
The round flare that we see in the sky during the day represents only a part of the entire sun. This sphere, called the photosphere, a sphere of light, is the surface layer of the sun and is what we see with our eyes. The photosphere is very bright and can be harmful to the eyes of anyone that looks directly at it. A closer view of the photosphere through a telescope shows a bubbling surface similar to that of boiling water. This bubbling surface often has dark spots that are called sunspots. Sunspots are caused by the sun's magnetic fields and appear dark than the rest of the sun because they are much cooler than the surrounding gases that make up the photosphere.
Very good. Okay. What is the photosphere?
What?
What is the photosphere?
Is the surface layer of the sun and is what we see with our eyes.
Very good. It's the surface layer of the sun. And who can tell me what the bubbling surface has that are dark spots? What are those called?
Sunspots.
Sunspots. Very good. John Carlos, will you finish off this chapter for me? A fiery atmosphere called the
The sun of the layer, that one, Ramita.
called the chromosphere?
Okay. Chromosphere. A sphere of color surrounds the photosphere with the spice of giant bursts of gas that gush out from thousands of miles before falling back to the sun's surface. These gas outbursts, invisible even through a telescope, must be viewed through a monorator. One color meter, a device which blocks out all light except for one select color, the corona, a, a vapor blanket with a estimated temperature of
1 million.
1 million,
1 million.
1 million to 2 million surrounds the chromosphere and extends to about 249 million miles from the surface of the sun. It is visible only during a total eclipse when the moon blocks the sun's photosphere from our view.
Very good. So that's the sun. Huge and it's hot. There's different parts. It has the core, and the photosphere is what we can see. Then we have surrounding that is the corona, not the coronavirus, but the corona, which is like a gas vapor, vapor is a gas that surrounds the entire sun. And so that's one definition you need to know. Comprehension check. You have to define photosynthesis, core, sunspots, photosphere, chromosphere, and corona. Then he said, what did ancient people think about the sun? What did they think the sun was?
Can I say it, mister?
Yeah, say it.
The sun is so important to us that many pagan people worship it as a god
Very
because
good.
it made their crops grow and kept them warm.
They thought it was a god. Definitely not, but they thought. And then, how far is the sun from the earth? Okay, let's move on to
Yes, we already have it there. 93, I don't know what how to say.
next one. Next page, 7.2.
How beautiful me.
All right, after this, we'll look at some photos of what these look like, okay? Ready? All right, 7.2, the stars, God's night lights. God created other lights in the heaven beside the sun. The stars, which can be seen by the thousands on clear, dark nights, are actually huge suns located at immense distances from Earth. Together, they brighten moonless nights with a soft, silvery light. God arranged the stars in groups which, through the ages, have reminded people of men and women, animals, or objects. How many of these star groups or constellations can you find? All right. Peña, you're up. I want you to read constellations of the Northern Hemisphere. You gotta turn your mic on, man.
Constellation of the Northern Hemisphere. The star group that we use as the starting point for locating constellation is the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper is not a constellation in itself, but is a part of the Great Bear, Ursa Major constellation. The Big Dipper is easy to find as you stay facing north. Once you locate the Big Dipper, look at the last star in the handle of the dip. This star is the nose of the Great Bear. Can you see the outline of the Great Bear in your imagination? Now look at the Big Dipper ball. The two stars farthest from the handle are called the pointers. If you trace a climb through them away from the ball opening. You will reach the North Star. Polaris. The North Star is the last star in the handle of the Little Dipper. The Big Dipper, Little Dipper, and Polaris can be seen all year. Just below the Great Bear lies the Lion Leo. The best time of you see constellation is between February and June. The lion can be found by locals locating the bright star Regulus in the beach from Par. To find Regulus, draw a straight line down from the two stars. I keep going, mister.
Yeah, finish the paragraph.
In the Big Dipper and make up the side of the ball closest to the handle.
Very
The
good.
star
Stop right there. What is the name of the North Star?
Peter, I cannot listen good.
What is the
Dipper.
name of the North Star?
Polaris.
Polaris. Very good. Polaris. Okay. Polaris is a part of the Little Dipper. So this can be seen all year round. So if you go out tonight and it's not cloudy, I bet you'd be able to see it. Except for, I think it's going to be cloudy because it's going to rain. Okay. What is the Big Dipper part of? It's not, it's a part of something else. But what is it a part of? What is the name of it? Amelia, what is it a part of?
Yours, Meyer. Constellations. Constellation.
What? The Big Dipper is not a constellation, but it's part of what?
Polaris.
A great beer.
Pointers.
No,
Of a great beer.
of the Great Bear. Amelia, you need to be paying attention instead of playing.
I was saying you that, but in Spanish.
Oh, you.
Ursa Maher. That. Yes, that. I tell you.
All right, Amelia, you're up. You're reading. The next page, 183. The star group called.
The starting group came the Earth man looked like a man is seen down washing his flow. This constellation is located in the summer sky just under the Great Bear. Note that instance why to look at the inclination of the Earth's man is to find Arcturus, the largest star for the constellation. Arcturus can be found by constaining the current line of the Big Dipper's screen for some distance beyond the last star in the android. Then look for the Earth's triangular body and larger head. You may also be able to see the line of feet end of the horn. He is blowing the twins Gemini, same better
December and May look like two brothers holding hands. The heads of the two boys are the bright star Castron and Polos. You can find this constellation by driving an imaginary diagonal line that passes down the Big Dipper ball, and it contains onward from the bottom right corner. Often, the moon or a planet will pass directly in front of the twins if you go constrained on a winter lead and face.
Actually, we'll stop there. I'm sorry. We'll stop there. What is the name of the stars that look like two brothers holding hands?
What?
What is the name of the two stars or the two brothers?
Castor and Pollux.
Those are the heads, yeah. But what's the name of the constellation? What is it called?
Big Dipper.
Hertzman.
Starts with a T.
Twins.
Twins. Twins. Gemini. All right. And what's the star group called that looks like a man sitting down watching his flock or his sheep?
Orion.
No.
Gosh.
Starts with the H.
With the what?
H.
Hertzman.
Earthman, very good. All right. Let's keep going. Here, I'll finish this part right here. If you go outside on a winter night and face south, you will see Orion, perhaps the most impressive constellation, Orion, which is mentioned in the Bible in Job 9:9 and 38:31. So which one is mentioned in the Bible?
Job 9:9.
Job 9:9 and 38:31.
Yeah, but what constellation?
Orion.
Orion.
Very good. Looks like a mighty hunter. In one hand, he holds out his shield. In the other, he wields an upraised club. A bright sword hangs at his side. The two supergiants, Betelgeuse and Rigel, are in Orion, but the most spectacular part of the constellation is Orion's belt, made up of three large stars that wrap around the hunter's waist. Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, is one of the stars in the constellation of the Big Dog, or Canis Major. The Big Dog can be seen in the northern hemisphere, but only on clear nights. Somewhat below and to the east of Orion, the Big Dog appears to join Orion in his hunt. All right. As you can see in that photo there, you can see Orion's belt. There's three stars. All right, next page, and we're done. We'll talk a little bit. Constellations of the southern hemisphere. Shaped like the dreaded arachnid which roams the desert, the scorpion weaves through the southern sky. Its most outstanding star is Antares, a reddish star which is often confused with Mars as they pass close to each other in the sky. Probably the most familiar sight in the southern sky is the Southern Cross, which is as famous as the northern hemisphere's Big Dipper. In the southern hemisphere, the Southern Cross can be seen the entire year. The upright bar of the cross points almost directly toward the south. Okay, so those the two constellations are in the southern hemisphere, which means below the equator. All right. So let's talk about the comprehension check. You guys are gonna have to define constellation. You have to write what constellation is the Big Dipper a part of. Okay. Sandra said that one. What's the actual name of the North Star? What's the actual name of the North Star?
What?
Polaris.
Polaris. Very good. And which constellation is mentioned in the Bible?
Orion.
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 And then you have to identify the constellation by the star. So on A, it says Arcturus. You have to say, where is that at? What constellation? Then we have Castor Pollux. What constellation is that in? Sirius, what constellation is that in? And all the way to Betelgeuse and Rigel. Rigel. Sound good? Lizzie, is that your little brother?
If you got it, boy.
Okay, very good. Let's look at some of these constellations, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. No. All right, so here's what the Great Bear would look like, all right? They kind of drew pictures and stuff like this. We have Ursa Major, which would be where the Big Dipper's at. The Great Bear. So here we see right here, let's look at this one. Actually, let me move this over here. Here we see how this one connects like that? See it? That is the Great Bear. And everything here is the Great Bear, but this is the Big Dipper right here. All right? Like we saw on the thing. This is a different photo that I like. I like this one better because look, it shows you what the bear might look like, all right?
Yes.
Like that. But I think they flipped on this one. The bear's head's supposed to be over here, but they put it down here, over here. But I think it still looks cool that way. Now let's look at the Lion constellation. So let's see if we can compare it with our book. Does it look the same? So here's the night sky, and they drew an outline of it. Does it look the same?
No.
No, it doesn't look the same. Weird. Let's see if we can find it.
Was one meter like the Ursa.
Kind of like this. See, Regulus? I don't know. Kind of looks the same. You guys want to see something cool? Look at a shooting star. Whoa, look at that.
Wow, mister.
Shooting stars.
Daddy, where is the place? Yeah, this is beautiful. The other.
This one.
Yes. Look.
Right down. Look at this one right here. This one's looking at outer space, and you can see the shooting star coming down right there. Very cool. Okay. That is all we have for today.